Sometimes the biggest money wins don't come from giant sacrifices. They just come from small, simple habits that we build into our everyday routines. I'm Joy of Frugal Creative Living, and a couple of weeks ago, my daughter and I were coming from the grocery store, and she commented on something that I always do after shopping. And it was a little thing, but a big thing. And it got me to thinking about the small habits that you might be overlooking that could be saving or at least keeping you from wasting a lot of money. So today I'm sharing 7 or 8 simple frugal habits that I've picked up over time that might seem kind of tiny, but can make a huge difference. So let's get into it. Read your receipts every time you go shopping. And this was the thing my daughter commented on. Now, most of us toss our receipts in a bag, we crumple them up, or we hit no receipt at self-checkout. But I'm telling you, those little slips of paper have so much information on them. I've caught items being rung up at full price that were clearly marked as discounted. I've caught double charges where they accidentally scanned it twice, or even had things on my receipt that weren't mine, like they were items that were sitting on the counter and the cashier thought I wanted to buy them. Even with self-checkout, you have to check that receipt because the error could be yours. And when you're buying 20, 30 items, those mistakes can easily add up to $5 or $10. So my tip is to just make a habit of scanning your receipt right at the counter before you leave. And if you spot an error, let the cashier know. They'll usually fix the situation for you right then and there. Worst case scenario, they'll tell you to go to customer service, but I've only really had to go to customer service for something like that maybe once, where I didn't check the receipt until I had left the store. So you want to make sure you check right then and there. To get even more value out of that receipt, you can download the Fetch app to your phone and scan your receipt in for points that add up and then can be redeemed for digital gift cards to your favorite stores or online merchants like Amazon or Walmart. I always get a gift card for Amazon. And no matter how much your receipt is, you always get a minimum of 25 points. And sometimes you can even earn thousands of points depending on which items you purchase. And at the time of recording this video, if you click on the Fetch link that I have in the description, you can get 2,000 points to get you started when you scan your first receipt. Bottom line, don't just toss those receipts. Make sure you read them. The second tip is to time your errands to stack discounts and save gas. So if you're anything like me, you've had weeks where you're zigzagging all over town over the course of multiple days, burning gas and running into temptation at every store you go to because you didn't map out your shopping and your errands efficiently. So instead of doing that, you want to try to batch your errands and align them with markdown days whenever possible. So for instance, my grocery store runs its sales from Sunday to Saturday, but then there will be this panel of items in the circular where the things are on a deep discount, but that doesn't start until Thursday, and there's almost always something on that space on sale that I want to take advantage of. So instead of going shopping on Sunday and then going again on Thursday for the extra sale items and then going to the post office on Friday and picking up that birthday card on Saturday, I'll just schedule to do all the things on Thursday and map out my route where I'm not going back and forth across town, but I'm just going kind of in a nice circle where I can go from here to here to here and then back home. And if you need help with kind of mapping that out, you can go on your GPS app and plug in your address as the starting location and as the destination, and then add your stops to the route. And stacking your errands and the sales into one big run means that I'm not going to be tempted to just run in real quick 5 times a week. And y'all know those running real quick for one item almost never ends up being just one item. And I'm hitting the sales when they're actually happening. And hopefully I'm not filling up my gas tank quite as often. Number 3 is to pre-wash your produce in bulk. And this one's for anyone who has sadly tossed a half-used bag of spinach into the trash. When I get home from the store, the best thing to do is to wash and prep all my produce right away, because let's be honest, if it goes in the fridge dirty, it might not come back out until it's time to throw it away. And I know that's so sad, but my grapes need to get rinsed and portioned into small bowls or sandwich bags. And I just use my little collection of bread bag tabs to close those up and put them in the fridge so they're ready to eat. Green peppers and onions get cut up and put into storage bowls. And doing this just saves time during the week. It saves money because we're more likely to actually eat the food, which prevents waste, of course, and it's it's better overall because I'm likely to eat something that's healthy when it's clean and ready to be eaten instead of grabbing a couple of cookies that don't require any prep. And this next one is to use the library for more than just books. Now, if you've seen some of my videos, you already know I love the library, but it is not just for books anymore. Libraries have evolved so much. And at the libraries in my county, you can borrow free audiobooks and ebooks right on your phone through the Libby or Hoopla apps. And you can stream free movies, and they have a lot of independent films and documentaries, but also some well-known titles and even kids movies through Canopy, which you can access on their app, on your phone, or on the computer just by using your library card number. They have tool lending like hammers and power tools. They have seed swaps if you're into gardening. You can borrow musical instruments and amplifiers. You can even borrow Wi-Fi hotspots. And if you're thinking like my library doesn't offer all of that, they might. Just call and ask or check their website. You might find that they offer things you had no idea about. You could also Google search library of things plus your city to see what pops up. Now, this next tip is to store things properly. Sometimes saving money isn't about buying less. It's about protecting what you already own. Let's say you bought a nice big bottle of olive oil. Don't store it next to the stove where it might be the most convenient because the heat and the light is going to make it go rancid faster. Instead, stick it in a dark, cool cabinet. It's going to have a longer life and it's going to taste better. If you have tools in the garage and you know it gets humid out there, put them in a toolbox or coat them with a little bit of oil to prevent rust. Don't just leave them hanging out there on the wall. If you're packing away dishes or breakables, people often grab newspaper to wrap them in, but the ink can bleed and ruin your stuff, especially in damp storage spaces. So you want to use acid-free tissue paper or bubble wrap that you can get from the Dollar Tree, or old cotton pillowcases and sheets. You just want to protect what you've got so that you're not out there rebuying it next year sooner than you should be. Keep a running inventory list. Now, here's the truth. I once bought a whole big bottle of conditioner because I forgot I already had 3 of the exact same conditioner at home. So now I try to keep a simple inventory list, and you can do this for your pantry, your refrigerator and freezer items, which I do because it helps with meal planning. But you can also keep an inventory list for your toiletries and cleaning supplies. Now, to me, it would be a bit much to keep a full list of everything I have in my house, but I do keep a list of the items that I buy in bulk. So with the conditioner, for instance, I use a lot of conditioner for my hair. So I had purchased a box of 4 big bottles of conditioner from Amazon because it was cheaper that way per bottle. But then because the box was kind of big, I had to store it in a different place that was a little bit out of sight. And so then when I ran out of the one bottle, I forgot that I had a bunch of bottles already somewhere in storage. And this is where the inventory list becomes helpful. So when I run out of that bag of cotton balls or that one bottle of conditioner, I just look at my inventory list to see if I have some in another area of my house before buying more. And the next tip is related to this one, and that's to keep a running shopping list. Now, the difference is that the inventory list tells you what you have. The shopping list tells you what you need to get. So one of the things that is so annoying is making a list, going to the store, buying the things you need, and then coming back home only to immediately discover that you were out of something that you didn't think of when you were making your list. So to avoid this, I have chalkboards and dry erase boards in different rooms of my house, and you can just make these with an old picture frame and a piece of white paper. I know, but I have one in the bathroom and in the kitchen and at my desk. So whenever we run out of something, it just immediately goes on the board. And then when I'm making my shopping list, I'm not trying to remember what we ran out of. It's already on the board. I also keep this running list in my notes app on my phone, but as I get older, if I don't have my phone in the room with me, there's just no guarantee that I'm going to remember what I'm supposed to be putting in my phone once I get to it. So I use the boards to write it down right then and there. And this is just going to help you avoid multiple runs to the store, which sometimes increases your likelihood of spending more money. Grabbing grocery store prepared foods instead of fast food. Now, Here's something a lot of people don't even think about: the grocery store hot bar or deli section. And I know we're trying to avoid spending money on fast food, but sometimes you just might have to make an allowance for it. But instead of swinging through a fast food drive-through, you can head to the grocery store, because a number of grocery stores have that area where you can purchase hot cooked food or deli sandwiches or sushi platters or food that's been cooked, wrapped, and refrigerated so you can just take it home and microwave it, and it costs less than fast food restaurants. And we could get an 8-piece fried chicken and a tub of potato salad that can feed the whole family for the same price as one chicken meal from Popeyes or KFC. And if you need the food for on the go, maybe you can just bring those sectioned containers from home, and then you can divvy up the food and everybody's good to go, but for a little bit less money. It's just that happy medium between scratch cooking and convenience eating, and it doesn't wreck your budget like regular takeout. So that's just 8 little frugal habits that save me time, money, and stress. And they're not flashy, but they do make a difference. Now, which of these do you think you need to start doing, or maybe just start doing more often? Let me know that in the comments. And if you've got a frugal habit that you'd like to share, please do so, because you really might just help someone else out. And if this video was helpful to you, give it a thumbs up, share it with a friend, subscribe to the channel, and then watch this playlist for more frugal living tips. And I will see you next time. Bye.